And covering Clay County tonight, where a deputy has been arrested and fired after investigators say he filed a false police report and left the scene of a crash. According to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Tyler North was on duty on September 17th when he rear-ended a car on Blanding Boulevard. After speaking with the other driver, investigators say Deputy North then left the scene without making any report of the crash. The Sheriff's Office says he later completed an official report where he made false statements about how the cruiser was damaged.
Now to a story that's angering many people on social media. A recent clash between a dog owner and an off-duty Jacksonville animal control officer accused of grabbing and attempting to take the dog owner's pet.
The moment Luna went over to say hello to her and walked over, she immediately started grabbing her by the neck, held her up by the neck for that entire time we were going back and forth. She grabs my arm, I push, get the freaking arm off. I go to grab my dog back, and this whole time you're just holding her up. The poor girl got hung for that 30 seconds. That's not okay.
News4Jax reporter Eric Avanier spoke with the dog's owner and the chief of animal control. That chief is standing by his senior officer's actions, even if criminal charges are filed against that officer and a lawsuit is filed against the city.
What began as a routine outing for Luna, the 5-year-old pit bull, and her owner, Robert Colasanti, turned into an unexpected event involving a Jacksonville animal control officer. Colasanti says he was allowing Luna to walk off leash in this open field away from the roadway of POW/MIA Memorial Parkway when their peaceful outing turned violent.
Some random lady just pulls up in her car, gets out of the vehicle, and tells me to put my dog on an effing leash.
That random lady turned out to be Senior Animal Control Officer Sarah Duran, who was off duty. Colasanti says Duran got out of her car and started walking towards Luna while shouting, which caused the dog to casually walk towards her.
The lady immediately grabs Luna by I want to be careful with it, but grabs Luna by her collar and lifts her up about right here. And now she's on her hind legs out in front of her, and she's whining.
He says Officer Duran tried to take the dog, and that's when he and her got into a wrestling match as he was trying to get his dog back. He says his nephew started recording the cell phone video of him after he managed to pull Luna away from the officer. The video shows her following them to Colasanti's car. She appears to be trying to get his license plate. He says at one point, the off-duty animal control officer demanded that he show her some identification, but says she never identified herself at the beginning of the incident.
I couldn't identify anything about her. I didn't see a badge. I didn't see anything. I just see this lady dressed in black cargo pants, like a collared black shirt, and was just really quick to come over, and she's telling me she's gonna call JSO on me. I'm not even sure what I did wrong at that moment. There's no way having your dog off leash means taking things that seriously.
The hair covering the badge or insignia or name.
Retired JSO Director of Investigations and Homeland Security, Tom Hackney, weighed in on the incident. He says in this photo, it's hard to tell Duran is an officer because you can't see anything on her shirt designating her as such. Also, he says no off-duty animal control officer has the right to demand identification from a dog owner, let alone grab someone's dog while off duty.
This seems very far outside of the scope of their authority, especially when they're off duty in a personal vehicle and not identifying themselves. That's just a recipe, really, for disaster.
So she was leaving the shelter. She was on her way home.
Animal Control Chief Michael Bricker is Officer Duran's boss. He says because Officer Duran is a city employee, she's not allowed to speak on her behalf on camera to explain her side of the story. He says her version of what happened is far different than the version told by Luna's owners.
She saw a dog running up close to the road. She said she beeped for the person's attention. She said there was 2 males by a Tesla. She beeped for their attention and they didn't respond and grab the dog. So as she got closer, she knew that there was other cars behind her. So in order to stop this dog from running in the road, she stopped her vehicle, got out of the car. As soon as she got out of the car, the dog ran into the road to her. That's when she grabbed the dog by the collar. When she grabbed the dog by the collar, a gentleman ran up, grabbed her by the wrist, removed her hand, grabbed the dog by the collar with such force that the collar came off of the dog. He then put the collar back on the dog, picked up his dog, went back to his car.
Chief Bricker said it didn't matter if Luna was close to the road or far from it because she was still off leash, which is illegal. Despite that technicality, Luna's owners have filed a complaint with JSO and have obtained an attorney to handle the matter in civil court. They're also meeting with the state attorney to see if criminal charges can be filed against Officer Duran. Now, if this ends up in criminal court, a jury will not only hear from Colasanti, but also his nephew, who was an eyewitness, and his wife, who says she was on the phone with her husband when the incident began. Now, our crime and safety analyst says the officer could possibly face charges of attempted theft of an animal and animal cruelty. But again, so far, no charges have been filed. Live in the studio, Eric Avignon, Channel 4, the local station.